and welcome to the Bluegrass Sports Show. Or,
The BS Show. We are two fat guys that talk crap. We are the Pharaohs of Fat Rose.
my name's Carl.
My name is Perry. Have you all ever sat and watched videos on YouTube or on Facebook or whichever, wherever you watch your videos, and you're just two guys sitting around watching videos and you just see people and you're like, they're watching girls, right? We don't watch girls. We watch people make cakes. And it's fantastic. They look delicious.
So today, to touch on his story here, today we're sitting in my car and I brought up this fact that we're sitting here watching a video on my phone talking about how good it looks and all of this. And if somebody was to overhear outside of the car, they are literally going to think we're looking at women. But no, it was a beautiful looking cake that looked delicious.
How was it worded? It wasn't overkill, but another word for overkill of milk chocolate.
It was, what was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But it was an abundance of chocolate.
It was just like chocolate bars piled on top of a chocolate cake.
It was
that
beautiful.
was like this tall. It was fantastic. Also, something else. Shout out to Dove Hair Products for men. Because I swear it's making my hair look thicker.
Ain't nothing making that look thicker. But, dude, got a couple more shout outs. Happy birthday to Angela Northern, my sister-in-law. She's just turned 16, I think, 2 days ago. And go and check out her YouTube page. It is Angela Northern is the name of that YouTube page. She's a pretty good singer at this point, and that's what she's doing is singing. Another thing, I do want to apologize for smoking in the videos, Jason. Now, the argument was made that it makes it look more redneck. I completely disagree. We're wearing sleeveless shirts and baseball caps. So I don't think it makes it look more redneck, but it does support smoking, and I don't want that. So kids, if you are watching, smoking is awful, and I am a smoker, and it is terrible for you. It's not a very good thing to do. So I do apologize for that, and I will try my best to remember and not smoke in the future videos. But if I do, I apologize beforehand because I just don't think about it. I just smoke. But today we are coming at you with our picks for the top 10 best comebacks in all of sports. So this is not, any sport in particular. We're just covering them all in our top 10 picks for those comebacks. Now, me personally, I went all teams. And obviously, if there was more at stake, it's going to be higher on my list.
Yep.
And I know you have some wrenches in there that you would like throw in, right?
Yeah, mine's not directly based just on team aspirations for an individual game or a player for an individual match or for like a series, anything like that.
Right.
Mine can also be, for example, and I don't have this on my list, where Michael Jordan retires for a year and then comes back and wins 3 titles. That while that's not on my list, and some can foresee that as a comeback, I don't necessarily call it a comeback because I don't feel like he retired. Just my opinion, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at other things, something where someone made a grand return and won in the most impressive manner possible.
Right. I mean, and that's, that is a comeback.
Yes.
And that could very easily be justifiable
You want to go first?
as being on this list. No.
You don't want to go first?
Listen, I put my list together.
My list's been ready for 4
in about
days.
10 minutes before we record this video. So if I look at times where I'm picking which one I want to go with, then I am picking which one I want to go with. So you go first with your number 10, and then I'll have my number 10 and number 9 ready.
My number 10 for comeback is Trace McGrady's 13 and 35. Meaning that he scored 13 points in 35 seconds of possession. He did that in approximately 07 or 08. I'm unsure about the year that he did it, but he did it in a regular season game against the San Antonio Spurs, to where his team, the Houston Rockets, was down, I think, 9 or 10 with 1 minute and 5 seconds to play, and he just goes on this massive run by himself, and he's just hitting shot after shot, and they're insane shots,
Right.
and he's hitting them through Tim Duncan and through Bruce Bowen and through Manu Ginobili, just anything and everything he's throwing up, and it's just cash money. And he ends up winning the
We're
game.
talking about T-Mac here.
We're talking about T-Mac.
Talking
Trace
about
McGrady,
T-Mac, who
new
we
Hall
did,
of Famer. Congratulations.
Yes, and we did say before that he was already in the Hall of Fame. That is a mess up on us, but he is now. He is now. So
I had intel sources telling me he was going in. I don't know what he has.
I'm just smart. That's
well.
So
You're 10.
all right, my number 10, and there's probably going to be some people that hate on this pick, but it is going to be the UK Wildcats when they came back against LSU and earned the name Comeback Cats.
The Mardi Gras Miracle.
They were amazing when we talk about that little stretch of game there. Literally, Rick Pitino gave up on them. Gave up on them, said, I don't care what you guys do. You guys go play your game. They came out and busted 3 after 3 after 3 and fought back and won that game. Again, and that's how, I mean, if you earn the name Comeback Cats, that's amazing.
We'll touch more on that here in a few minutes.
All right, then.
Who's your 9?
So at my number 9, and it's similar to yours, I'm going to go with the Indiana Pacers. 8-point deficit in 11 seconds, Reggie Miller.
I like it.
And that was amazing. When you talk about the crazy shot, it wasn't just shots. It was also defense and everything. And we're talking about 11 seconds.
And we're talking about him shoving poor Greg Anthony to the ground.
But that was amazing. And like you talked about, T-Mac, I mean, all of these are amazing, just to point that out.
Absolutely.
Just because I don't have it on my list or something, it's still an amazing feat.
We'll talk more about it in a minute.
Okay. All right.
My number 9, Evan Turner. And let me explain why. Evan Turner was college basketball's National Player of the Year for the 2009-2010 season. What no one remembers about Evan Turner, everybody sees Evan Turner as being the number 2 pick in that draft, being taken over DeMarcus Cousins, over Paul George, over others right behind Wall.
Right.
He broke his back in the same season, earlier in the season, I think in December. Came back from a back injury early where he broke his back, rehabbed and got back in time to still lead the Buckeyes to, I think maybe, I can't remember if they were a 1 seed, but they were a really high seed.
Yeah.
Won National Player of the Year. I don't like Evan Turner. I didn't think Evan Turner was that great going into the draft compared to who he was drafted over.
Right.
But respect to him and his perseverance for that. He's not on my list.
I like Evan Turner. And what I like about Evan Turner is he is a fighter.
Well, he's a fighter.
He is not going to quit. He's not going to give up. And, I mean, he's a solid player. He's not necessarily worthy of a number 2 pick, right? But he is a very solid player.
Gotcha.
He's a solid piece. So, yeah, I'm not. There's no disrespect there. I really like Evan Turner. He had a lot of pressure on his shoulders and didn't fulfill.
I agree. Are we to my number 8?
Mm-hmm.
Let me set a table for you.
Okay.
Duke University.
Ooh.
1 seed in the NCAA tournament. University of Kentucky. 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Elite 8. 6 years after the shot. I'm talking Duke leading Kentucky with 9.5 minutes to play by 15 in 1998. Now, I understand I'm a Kentucky fan.
Yeah.
So
we're a little bit biased.
this is very much a happy moment for me. But whenever you add in the aspect, Tubby's only championship.
Well, yeah.
Whenever you add into the aspect of NCAA tournament, Elite 8, winner goes to the Final Four.
Yeah,
okay?
There's a lot at stake.
A lot at stake. And then you add the aspect of Duke, Kentucky.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we want to meet Duke every year.
No, we don't.
Yes, we
I can't
do.
handle that stress. But anyways, I get stressed out enough without having to worry if me and Cody's going to talk to each other for months after that. But anyways, depending on who wins and how it goes. But anyways, Kentucky comes back and they do it in like a snap of a finger, just bang, bang,
right.
bang, bang, just erase. I'm positive it was 15. It may have been 17 that they were down with 9.5 minutes to play. Come back, knock Duke off, get paid back for 92. We go and win a national title.
Right.
That's my number 8.
Yep. Okay.
98 Kentucky Cats, the comeback Cats, where they trailed by 10 points.
Right.
And I think 4 of the 6 games in the tournament in the second half. And still come back and win the title.
Yeah, comeback Cats, baby. That's what I'm saying. You earned that name. And they still, to this day, relish that, I believe. Because they still show moments where they come back from big deficits.
I agree.
They hate losing. I love it. So.
Your number 8.
Oh gosh. Now here's where I'm starting to not know which one I want to pick. So at number 8, and this one's going to be kind of low for some people out there, but I think it had so many factors in it that I'm not giving them all the credit. So at number 8, I've got the Cavaliers, 2016, come back 3-1
That
down.
low.
That
Wow.
low.
Wow.
And that's because of all the factors that went into it.
I understand.
It wasn't necessarily that the Cavs just fought back, and they were playing a healthy Warriors team.
No, it wasn't.
That had all the play. I know, that's what I'm saying. If that was true, if the Warriors were completely healthy, nothing was wrong with them, and the Cavs just came back and beat them in 3 straight games to take it, then yes, that's one of the greatest comebacks ever. But with all the other stuff that went into play, it's knocked down a little bit.
I would argue
list.
Draymond was healthy, but he got suspended a game. Outside of that, Klay Thompson and Sean Livingston probably were the only healthy players on their roster.
And then when you look at Bogut too, I mean,
Bogut was out for the rest of the series.
yeah,
Got knocked out in game 5.
So
Iggy was hurt. Steph was hurt the whole postseason. But still, wow.
I mean, you can't really downplay it though. It's still a great comeback.
Unbelievable.
Yes,
unbelievable accomplishment.
That is why it's lower on my list.
I understand. Who's your 7?
I don't know. So, oh gosh, I don't know. We're starting to get tough here, where I don't know who to pick. All right, number 7.
Organization. Say it with me. Organization.
So at number 7, I'm probably going to take the largest deficit in college football history to ever, come back from, and that's Michigan State Spartans. 35-point deficit in 2006, and came back to win that game. I don't know. Actually, in retrospect, I may move Cleveland up one because Cleveland's had more on the line.
Cleveland's just won a championship.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And Michigan State's wasn't. But it's still the largest deficit that anybody's ever came back from.
Who'd they play?
Northwestern, I believe.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know.
I can't really remember, but I believe it's Northwestern.
Okay.
I believe so. But it was an amazing. We're talking about actually, I think UCLA may have broken that this year, didn't they? How big was their deficit?
UCLA to Texas A&M, I think it was 44-10. I think it was a 34-point comeback.
Oh, okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that. But I think.
And that's great in itself, right there. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna switch them two though. I'm gonna move Michigan State down to number 8 and Cavs up.
I'm actually going to do that with my 7 and 8 simply because I misread my list slightly.
Okay.
So my 7 was actually Kentucky over Duke, but it's interchangeable. We'll go and go with my number 7, the Mardi Gras Miracle.
Okay. Yeah.
Kentucky trails by 31 points with 15 minutes to play in the game. Tony Dell, Travis Ford, Walter McCarty. Here come the Cates with their claw striped shorts on, and then looking all swaggy down in Baton Rouge with Dale Brown over here biting his fingers. Greatest.
I'm going to restate this. When their coach gave up on them,
Rick Pitino
gave up on them. Said I don't know what else to do. You guys go do whatever you want.
Travis Ford said that he looked at his team. He said, I don't care if we play a second game tonight. We are not leaving Baton Rouge without a W.
Yep. And they got it. They went out and took it.
Now, my number 6 is the 04 Red Sox over the Yankees. 2004 ALCS.
Yep.
Yankees up 3-0.
That's my number 6 as well.
Yankees up 3-0. Multiple walk-off hits.
And I mean, it was amazing.
Kurt Schilling's bloody sock.
Which is a debatable moment in sports history.
Well, it's whatever. It's just a part of that atmosphere.
Also, that season is when the Yankees beat Boston, bidding on Alex Rodriguez, who was then the best player in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's my number 6 because at the end of the day, 0-3, 3-1, whatever, it happens all the time in other sports outside of basketball.
Right.
But it goes back to like Duke, Kentucky. for a trip to the Final Four.
Yes.
This was the New York Yankees and the Boston Red
Yeah, when
Sox
you're talking about
for a trip to the World Series.
rivals, and I'm not talking. Don't just say rival. We're talking about major rivals. Two teams that hate each other. It's got so much more meaning.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's my number 6 as well.
Okay.
So, oh God, now we're on to my number 5.
Who's your 5?
Now, just to be honest here, my number 6 through number 1 could probably be, interchangeable. So now I've got to make a decision. So, okay, I know who my number 5 is. Actually, I know who my number 6 is. And number 5 is going to be that one. My number 6 is the Boston Celtics in 2008. When they came back, this would have evened up the series. The Lakers were ahead, 31-7, right? In game 4, in game 4, because it gave Boston a 3-1 lead, whereas it would have tied up the series.
I don't even want you to talk about this.
I know, but in 2008, the Boston Celtics came back from 31-7. Is that what I said? Okay, they came back from 31-7 to take a 3-1 lead.
Kobe could have had 6.
Over the Lakers versus a 2-2, which is at that point, it's up in the air who's going to take it. So they took a commanding 3-1 lead with this game. So that's what I was talking about with the what's on the line. It's sort of interchangeable too when you talk about Boston Red Sox, Yankees,
Absolutely.
Celtics, Lakers.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I don't know which one's 5 or 6, but them two are right there.
Okay, now my number 5 is going to be from this past year's World Series. It's going to be the Chicago Cubs coming back. And once again, 3-1 happens more often in baseball, but this was for the World Championship.
And how many years was it?
1908. Is that what it was? Or 1904? Forever ago. But the Cubs coming back from 3-1 to win the World Series against Cleveland. Ironically, just months after Cleveland erases a 3-1 deficit to Golden State. They blow a 3-1 lead in baseball to the Chicago Cubs. Of all teams, the Chicago Cubs. And they did everything they could to lose in Game 7. Everything they could, because I was convinced that there was a freaking goat curse over that franchise. Because what could go wrong for the Cubs in Game 7 went wrong. The Indians should have won that championship.
Yeah.
It was like rookie of the year versus Major League. I was team Major League all the way. I was cheering for Cleveland. But it wasn't to be. Now, my number 4, this is where I have Reggie's 8 points and 9 seconds.
Oh, 11 seconds.
11 seconds. Well, no, it's 8 points and 9 seconds. It's how much time, it's like McGrady's time frame. It's how much time he had possession of the ball. It was an 8-point comeback, yes, in 11 seconds. But he scored 8 points in 9 seconds of possession.
Yeah.
Of course, comes down, hits a highly contested 3, and then he steals an inbounds pass to where Greg Anthony stumbled. He got ran over by Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller steals the inbounds pass, drains a 3, comes down. The Knicks, John Starks has 2 free throws. 2 free throws to put this game away, or at least put the Knicks back up 2. And what's he do? There's a reason why Spike Lee and Reggie Miller had their feud, and this was after the stuff from Reggie. And that's what makes this so high. It was a playoff game.
Yes, it was.
Knicks, Pacers, Reggie, Spike Lee. That's as much as that's as good as it gets. They missed 2 free throws. They get the offensive rebound twice and have 2 putback chances and can't score. And then Reggie gets the board. Reggie gets fouled. Reggie ain't missing free throws.
Nope.
Game over.
Nope. Yeah, that game is amazing.
Yes. On to your number 4.
My number 4.
Actually, yeah, this is your 4. I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Okay. My number 4. Okay, at this point, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills 1993 wild card game. Comeback. Once again, we're talking about, on the line right here. And the team that they came back to beat them in week 17, just 1 week before this game, where they also had a lead. I think it was 21-7, if I'm right. 21-7 lead to where the Buffalo Bills come back and beat them when it mattered most.
You know how awful it has to be a Buffalo Bills fan. You've not done anything in 25 years, and the last time you done anything, you lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
But we're Cowboys fans.
I know, we got 2 of them.
But, I mean, some people could say we ain't done anything in the last 20 years.
I don't care. We have 5 world championships.
Yeah.
We have more. They almost have as many consecutive lost Super Bowls as what we do titles.
All right, go on.
Oh, wait, my
We're
number
going to
3.
lose viewers.
Wait, my number 3. Okay, this is where I have the Pats coming back down from 28-3 in this past Super Bowl to win a world championship in overtime, cementing that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Now, if you want to call him the greatest football player of all time, that's debatable. A lot of positions, a lot of different jobs, a lot of different responsibilities. But there's very little argument that you're going to give me in the era where quarterback is more prominent than any other position. You can say he's a system quarterback to Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
You could say he's never won anything without a great defense. Newsflash, nobody's ever won anything without a great defense.
Well, look at Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl.
Well,
defense won it.
Yeah, they did. And defense won that just as much as Cam Newton choked it.
Yeah.
Cam Newton was awful. Doug Antis, awful. And anyways.
So was Peyton.
Peyton was
Of course,
bad.
he was 40.
Peyton was bad. Peyton was bad. Peyton also had a running game in that game that helped eat clock for possession. But Tom Brady in that game cemented. That's 5. And
But
you want to know something that's funny?
I hate Tom Brady.
Well, I don't care what you hate. You want to know what's funny? Week 1 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs went on a 28-3 run to beat the Patriots. Can't make this stuff up.
But now, speaking on this year, as far as Patriots fans go, I'm not one at all. Hate the Patriots. Hate Tom Brady. But this year, they lost their season opener. Every year.
They lost season opener.
They've won the Super Bowl. So, who knows? But
number 6 is coming.
No.
My number 2.
Wait a minute.
It's my number 2.
Did I get my number 3?
I think so.
I don't think so.
You had to because it would have come back to me. You start the odds,
God,
and I start the
don't know,
evens.
dude.
You start the odds, I start the evens.
Okay, whatever.
My number 2 is last year's Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh.
I was cheering for Golden State wholeheartedly. I'm not a LeBron James guy. I'm just not. I'm not a Kyrie Irving guy. He's an idiot. Not only is he an idiot for wanting to leave the greatest player in the world, he's an idiot because he thinks the earth is flat. He's just stupid. How? Kyrie Irving is living proof that the academic qualities it takes to get into Duke is crap. But anyways,
All right.
being down 3-1, playing for a world championship, they come back to the 16 Cavs. LeBron, Kyrie, Love, Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith and company, Iman Shumpert, all these guys, they never quit. And that's while I think I've said it previously.
Right.
It's a lot easier to blow a 3-1 lead than it is to come back from 3-1.
Right.
The Cavs had an uphill climb that was
period.
Appeared they had everything go right for them to do it, but they still had to do it. Mm-hmm. They still had to execute. To me, second greatest comeback of all time. And
also, speaking on that, I know you wholeheartedly believe that Steph Curry wasn't himself. I know for a fact LeBron James got in his head.
It's probably correct.
Did, because I've never seen Steph Curry. When we talked about in past videos about Tim Duncan and how he don't go out of his way. He don't really get in a lot of trouble with his arguing and stuff. Steph Curry same way, right? And we saw him take his mouthpiece out of his mouth and throw it in the stands because he was so mad. And I think that's got a lot to do with LeBron James getting in his head.
I agree to an extent, but also whenever you're on the receiving end of what is the biggest collapse in sports history, in my opinion, you're a 73-win team. Granted, you're completely beat up and destroyed through the playoffs, but still, you're up 3-1.
Yeah, you should have finished
Larry Bird says, if I'm up 3-1, it's over.
Yeah, definitely.
Should have finished that series.
Mm-hmm. So. And, and I honestly believe that LeBron James is spitting that stuff in his ear.
It's possible.
I guarantee it. LeBron James has now gotten to the point where he's more like Jordan in getting in the opponent's head. I think he did it to Kevin Durant when they met up, the Heat and the Thunder, in the finals. I think he did it to him, which I think Kevin Durant now has moved past it, and he's fortified himself to where he's not going to do that as easy.
Having 3 All-Star teammates helps out.
Well, yeah, but I seriously believe that he's strengthened his fortitude up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he did the same thing to Steph Curry. And it's smart play. Don't get me wrong. That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
People used to do it to me on the ball floor. It's smart. That's the best way to do it. But
who's your 2?
I don't know. Now, like I said, any of mine are interchangeable. And the 2 that I've left, I don't like it, number 1 and 2.
You did it to yourself.
I know. But I am going to go with, for my number 2, the Seattle Seahawks 2015 NFC Championship. Down 19-7.
Against the Packers?
With 4 minutes remaining.
Against the Packers?
Was they playing the Packers?
I think so, because I laughed hysterically. I don't like the Packers.
So, Marshawn Lynch goes on a tear and scores on a 20-some-yard run.
Beast mode.
To start this historic comeback.
Beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode. He's the man. That is the year, 2015 is the year they lost.
I couldn't tell you.
I believe it's the year they lost.
I don't have time to try to think.
With
for you.
Russell. Is his name Russell? Quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. Yes, thank God. Anyway, that Russell Wilson throws the interception there in the end zone to lose the Super Bowl.
For ring number 4.
Instead of giving the ball to beast mode and saying power it in. That was stupid, and there are a lot of,
That was the Seahawks organization knowing that Marshawn Lynch is going to retire and wanting Russell Wilson to be perceived as the great hope and the future of that franchise.
I don't care.
Had he thrown that touchdown, he's Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. Had he not thrown that touchdown,
they win the Super Bowl.
What happened. So give the ball to your beast and let him win you that Super Bowl.
Malcolm Butler.
So that is my number 2, but I don't really like it at number 2.
Who's number 1?
My number 1 now, because I have to, is the Indianapolis Colts 21 deficit in 2003 to win Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl. His first Super Bowl victory, and he comes back from a deficit to do it.
And what year?
2003.
Incorrect.
I think you're mistaken, brother.
No, I'm not.
How do you know?
Look it up. You go ahead and look up when Peyton Manning won his Super Bowl, and while I go into my number 1 greatest comeback of all time. Let me paint you a picture. And this is a heartbreaking picture. It is a tearjerker. It is something that makes me cry to this day, and I'm not afraid to admit it. February 2001, Daytona 500 last lap. Michael Waltrip is leading the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running second. Dale Earnhardt Sr. is running third. Dale Earnhardt Sr. blocking for his 2 cars that he owns to where they can run 1-2. Fight it out between them. Mikey's being pushed. Dale Sr., it is what it is. Racing happens. He gets turned into the wall and he loses his life. The most heartbreaking moment outside of my mother and father's divorce of my entire life. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was my hero. And it just, I can't watch anything about him to this day because it just kills me. Fast forward to July. You're going to the end of June, early July, same season. The first race back at Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR, specifically the Winston Cup Series. What happens at this point? You've got a struggling Dale Earnhardt Jr. He struggled all year long. He's not run that great. He's starting to come on a little bit. He's struggling. Understandably so.
Right.
Of course, you go into this race at Daytona with the weight of the NASCAR world, the sports world, on his shoulders. He goes out and he runs their hind ends off. He wins the first race back at Daytona since the death of his father.
Right.
At the track that took his father. And arguably, my opinion, one of the biggest sports moments, period, in history. because of what it meant to the sport of NASCAR
Right.
that he won that race.
I mean, that's, yeah.
The moment I'm getting, look at this, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Right.
You can't.
No, I like that.
It's a Hollywood ending.
I
mean,
like that,
You
yeah.
see movies written about that.
Yeah, build around stuff like that. Yeah, I agree.
To me,
I agree. I like
as
that.
we talked about earlier, people coming back to do immaculate things.
Right.
That moment saved the future of NASCAR.
Well, also, I mean, when you just think about how much pressure he was feeling.
Oh, get this.
And scared. I mean, are you going to be scared?
He started in 6th with 6 laps to go, and marched directly to the lead in 2 laps.
But I'm gonna be scared in that moment. I mean, this track just took my dad.
No fear.
And I mean, are you gonna be? I'm gonna be.
He said whenever he first got to Daytona, the first thing he done was went to turn 3, and he stood at the bottom of the banking where his father got killed.
Yeah.
On the little grassy knoll. There's a little grassy knoll right there. He stood there for approximately 45 minutes. And he realized that my father loved this place. I love this place.
Right.
What happened. So just the image in my head of him doing donuts after the race is over in the infield, where his father 3.5 years previously had done donuts after winning the Daytona 500.
Right.
Michael Waltrip, his teammate who won the Daytona 500, who didn't get to celebrate his victory because Dale Earnhardt Sr., the entire sports world was crushed. Not just NASCAR, sports world. Right. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was an icon in the sports world.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
Biggest star in the history of a sport, tragically killed while performing.
Right.
The image of he and Michael Waltrip standing on top of his car, on top of Michael's car,
right.
embracing while the crowd is going insane in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their crew, people from other crews.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
Right. Yeah, that was a beautiful moment.
It's the most impactful moment as far as sports go, and maybe in other aspects of my entire life.
And I do apologize. I was mistaken. That's 2007. Good job, Barry. I was thinking 2003.
Sissy. Not prepared.
I'm getting old.
Stats are wrong. You don't even have a decent order.
Shut up.
I'm just going to let him sit over here and sulk.
First off, I had to work.
I'm just going to let him sit over here and sulk. I'm going to close out this video. It's went a little long. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this. Next video coming up to you all.
Hopefully we'll be a little shorter.
We'll be a little bit shorter.
And more prepared.
We're going to discuss our top 5 NBA teams of all time. We're going to venture back in the NBA just a little bit. It's our favorite sport, basketball.
It is.
We're also going to get to you very soon with some college basketball stuff, maybe some top teams ever, maybe some top teams that never win titles. We might even start talking coaches soon.
That is, yeah.
Stay tuned.
So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we are going to go live on our Facebook page. So if you haven't subscribed to that or liked that channel, go like it. We will go live on there. And you will have the ability to call in with your questions and discuss with us on video, on live, on Facebook, your sports questions that you want us to answer. I will disclose the phone number once it gets closer to that time. So, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.